stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide.
In your sadness and in your grief, all this pain, it seems there's no ease. We will hold you until the stones have silenced. Draw the circle wide.
Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. circle, draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide.
In your sadness and in your grief, all this pain, it seems there's no release. We will hold you until the stones have silenced. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide.
Good morning. It is great to see all of you here today. It's so wonderful to see you all here. I know that we're in the chapel today, so we're trying to figure out our seating. Don't stop on my account. Just keep on coming in. And while you're coming in, let us greet each other in person and in the chat.
Good morning. Come on in. Tish, yeah, we're going to put you up front. Welcome to Cedar Lane Unitarian Universalist congregation, a community where love works and sometimes a lot closer than what you might imagine it to be. And today, love is working in this very intimate setting that we have created in our chapel this morning. I'm Abhi Janamanchi. My pronouns are he and him, one of the ministers serving our religious community. I am a cisgendered Indian male in his 50s with dark hair and a graying mustache, wearing a black shirt, gray pants, a black and gray vest, and a Side with Love stole with different writings on it, which I cannot see. We gather, as we have gathered for over 72 years, on the ancestral lands of the Nacotchtank and the Piscataway Konai people, part of the Piscataway group of tribes, and on the land on which enslaved African people and their descendants labored and lived without choice or reward. We honor the land and the people who have protected it over the generations and continue to protect it. At Cedar Lane, whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever your beliefs, your sexual orientation, gender identity, documentation status, and disability, and wherever you're joining us from today, at home or in person here, you are welcome to bring your whole self to this space. I extend a very special welcome to all our guests and newcomers this morning. If you are here present in person and feel comfortable doing so, would you please raise your hand? All right. We have quite a few guests this morning. We welcome you to our worship. Thank you for taking a chance and taking a risk to be here with us today. And I also extend a special welcome to all those who are joining us online. If you would please mention in the chat, the YouTube chat, your name and where you're joining us from. We welcome you to our service. If you would like to know more about Unitarian Universalism or how to get involved at Cedar Lane, please fill out the newcomer form that is being linked in the chat, or return the forms here to one of our greeters. And if you would like to join this religious community by becoming a member, please reach out to my colleague, Reverend Ali, here, or by email at abell@cedarlane.org. Our weekly e-newsletter is also a wonderful way to stay updated about all the many happenings at Cedar Lane. You can sign up through our congregation's website, the homepage at cedarlane.org. And our caring ministry team is an extension of our ministry at Cedar Lane. Kathleen Holmay is a member of our caring team who is here in person today. And we also have caring team members online. Thank you, Kathleen, for your ministry. In this spirit, we gather this morning. In this spirit, we worship.
Before I begin the invocation, I wanted to remind everyone, if you feel a little too close, if this is not your cup of tea, we do have overflow seating in the library. So if you're like, wow, I did not expect to sit so close to someone today, you are welcome to go sit in the library, and it will be showing on the monitor in there. All right. Welcome to this free congregation. We worship in the spirit of truth and the fellowship of love. We serve one another and others with faith in humanity and hope for a better day for everyone. Ours is a religion for today, acknowledging the heritage of human faith as it has passed down the centuries and through the cultures of our ancestors and our neighbors. Ours, too, is an ancient religion, honoring truth and the human quest for justice and peace and liberation despite our differences. Welcome to this free congregation where religion does not shy away from present quandaries nor ignore the discoveries and possibilities of tomorrow. We freely gather with one another to share our gifts and abilities, our hope and love in service of life larger than our own. Welcome to this free congregation.
Hello, I'm Mmamohau Tswaedi. I'm a worship associate for today's service. My pronouns are she, her. I am wearing a fall-themed dress with stripes of burgundy, green, mustard, and blue. As Avery come forward to kindle the chalice, please share in the chat from where you are lighting your chalice, and please rise in body and or in spirit to share the chalice lighting words. Our Unitarian heritage bids us light our chalice in the name of freedom, in the light of reason, in the action of acceptance. We gather in community to celebrate a heritage of freedom, reason, acceptance. Our Universalist heritage bids us light our chalice in the name of faith, in the light of hope, in action of love. We gather in community to celebrate a heritage of faith, hope, and love. Let us bring this Unitarian Universalist heritage into our world and our lives today.
The ceremony in which we now join is both ancient and timeless. In all parts of the earth and from the earliest days of which history bears us record, parents have brought their children to a place of worship, sharing their own thanksgiving and dedication with their family and friends. Here we gather to welcome these children into our congregation and into our community. We gather to celebrate them, to acknowledge their holiness, and offer blessings to them. We affirm our common commitment to them and to acknowledge their place in the life of this community. We pledge to these children and their parents our guidance and support in their spiritual, moral, and intellectual growth towards those highest ideals and deepest convictions to which we ourselves strive. In doing so, we recognize the mystery of life as it is unfolding. We celebrate this mystery in word, blessing, and promise. Our gift is that of love freely given, with reverence and thanksgiving. We dedicate ourselves to the task of parenting and nurturing. Thus do we promise to love unconditionally and to strengthen the bonds of community.
Amy, would you all join us here? You can stand with me if you'd like. Amy, would you please name these children?
My daughter, Avery Lillian Dorsey Andre, and my son, Abhi Saula Andre.
All right. Friends, let us speak their names together. Avery
Lillian Dorsey Andre.
Lillian Dorsey Andre. Abhi
Saula Andre.
I think we should say Avi's name again. We should say Avi's name again.
Let us say Abhi's name again.
Abhi Saula Andre.
All right.
Yeah.
Now you are named many times.
Amy, in bringing these children before us this morning, do you dedicate yourself anew and pledge to the best of your abilities to guide your children in the ways of truth, service, and love? If so, please say, I do.
I do.
Thank you. Now, Abhi and Avery invited their friends to join us today. So I'm going to invite Enzo and Cece to come up.
Yay.
stand with your friends. All right. Enzo and Cece, as Abhi and Avery's friends, do you promise to support them, to play with them, talk with them, laugh with them, and make trouble together with them? If so, please say, we will.
We will.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, you can remain standing with them. All right? Will you, the members and friends of this congregation gathered in witness, speaking both for yourselves and for others who are not here, promise your support to these children and their parents, and recognizing that it takes overlapping communities of love to help raise our children, do you herewith offer your supportive presence to this family? If so, please say, we will.
We will.
All right.
Having made these promises, let us bless these children, joining in an act of love and beauty to bless them with the elements of our common creation, elements lifted up by our ancestors and the glory of their distinct and beautiful names.
Abhi and Avery, with earth, which is as strong as your given and developing frames, we bless you. We put this dirt in your shoes. I love doing this. To remind you to play on the earth with joy, to journey gently upon this earth, to be well rooted in yourself, and whenever you can, track dirt into the house so you would drive your mom crazy. No?
You wouldn't do that. With air, which moves and changes, even as you are giving, developing passions, we bless you. May you always breathe the air of freedom, knowing that you were born free, you shall live free, and you shall always have freedom.
With fire, which illumines everything, as does your given and developing minds, we bless you. May the love these first people and this community give you simmer in your soul and grow to be compassion for all people and all living things.
With water, which flows as clearly as you are given, and developing spirit, we bless you. I like to give a lot of water because this is my element. There you go. May you see clearly and speak the truth. When you're afraid, may you find your deep inner currents of courage. And when life has wounded you, may you feel the tide of the eternal rise to bring you to wholeness again.
With ether, the expanding space between the galaxies, the fertile void out of which emerges all of existence, we bless you. May you be at one with the forces that shape, sustain, and reclaim all that was, is, and ever will be, the silent song at the center of the cosmos. May the force go with you.
As a token of their dedication, we give these children a rose. A rose which is a fragrant symbol of beauty, promise, and love. And we will give one to one of your each of your friends too, because we've learned that friendship goes a long way in our lives. As long as we stay connected to friends, we'll be all right. I'm sorry for my mic here. The roses have no thorns, symbolizing the beauty and the better world we would give to our children if it were in our power. While we know that the world is not altogether as lovely as these roses, we hope that Abhi and Avery will learn to recognize the beauty and the goodness which does exist, and that they will grow in wisdom and compassion, adding their own beauty to the world.
And now, in the presence of all here gathered and the presence of love that will not let us go, our true and our best means, we dedicate you to the living of a good and grace-filled life. You are free to be who you are, free to grow into who you shall become, safe in our love and our care. Be blessed in our words. Be blessed by your good and wonderful names. Be blessed.
Be blessed.
And now our children are welcome to continue staying here for the service, or if you'd like to be bored for the next... I mean, I know what I do, so I'm just trying to be upfront with our kids here. But you're welcome to stay here for as long as you would like, or join your friends in Sunday school. I know they're doing some exciting things today, preparing for Halloween. So let us rise and sing number 338, I Seek the Spirit of a Child. This morning we have a special affirmation from Aidan Chernikov, who is a Cedar Lane member, a birthright Unitarian Universalist, who was almost literally born at Cedar Lane, and dedicated...
You have to ask them.
Right. Aidan is a member of our board and a young adult leader in our congregation, and has a few things to share with us. Welcome, Aidan.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. So, as Abhi said, my name is Aidan Chernikov. I use they, them pronouns. I am 28 years old, a non-binary person wearing an autumnal plaid with dark gray jeans, and I am wearing black-framed glasses. As some of you know, my parents are Lisa and Todd Chernikov. or maybe you know my grandmother, Robin Larkin, all who are very active members of Cedar Lane. When I was around 11 years old, my mother joined the membership committee and thus began my family's foray into this church's leadership or congregation. As part of working with the membership committee, she would attend both services on Sunday mornings to get to know our members and visitors. That meant that our family would spend more time at church on Sundays, about 3 hours or so every week. So I became the youngest teen assistant as an 11-year-old. Over time, they have both served on various committees and the board of trustees, and I believe my grandma also has served on the board of trustees. There was also their service outside of church, which meant that a busy life in general. This led me to end up at church, attending meetings with them, usually carrying my homework or a book in tow, observing, listening, and learning what service to this community looks like and means. I would even ask questions on the car ride home sometimes. Presently, as Abhi said, I serve on the board of trustees as a member at large, as well as teaching OWL classes. My hope and my ask is that you please consider serving the congregation in a leadership role. I know you are busy. We're all busy. I am also busy. But I promise you, when you serve, your children notice. They will notice the time and effort you put into this religious community. They will notice the work of leadership, and hopefully they will learn the value of leadership from you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let us center ourselves and enter into this moment, calling upon all sources of love that are within, among, and around us. We lift up those in our community who are living through significant passages, the small and extraordinary milestones of life. We pause to be present to our spiritual companions and the concerns of our own hearts. Within our Cedar Lane community, we hold in our hearts those who are mourning a deep loss and those whose lives have passed who still enrich us. Those for whom parenting is a spiritual practice. Those who live with or care for someone with grief or chronic pain. We send healing wishes to those struggling with illnesses, seen and unseen, with mental illness or addictions. We offer our condolences to Jonathan and other members of the Wigginton family at the death of his father, Jim Wigginton, on October 20th. Our caring extends beyond Cedar Lane to others who are affected, to others whose lives are lost and whose lives are impacted by war, violence, calamities in our nation and in our world. We grieve with the families and friends of Amari Selden and to the whole University of Maryland College Park community who are affected by his tragic death on campus on October 24th. We hold in our hearts the people of Lewiston, Maine, who are reeling from a mass shooting that killed 18 people and injured 13. We are heartbroken by the ongoing violence and destruction in Gaza. We offer our prayers with all those who are impacted and pray for an immediate cessation of hostilities. We join our voice of outrage with all those who cry out against oppression and join our hands with all those who strive for liberation. May these friends of ours, our companions in the world, and all the joys and sorrows we hold in our hearts be held in the embrace of silence. As we enter the silence together, you are invited to rise in body and or in spirit and speak the names of the loved ones that you are holding in remembrance or share their names in their chat.
You may be seated. Spirit of life, Spirit of peace, we call upon you today as we are bombarded with so many trials from all over the world. We call upon you today as we are questioning our own beliefs about what is right and fair and just. In conflicts that are older than we understand, we call upon you today when we identify with the oppressor and the oppressed. We call upon you. We call upon you today when we understand that gun violence impacts each and every one of us every day by the lives taken and the lives forever changed. We call upon you today. We call upon you today, seeking a way forward where we understand that difference doesn't mean division. We call upon you today, asking for ourselves not to be centered in our neighbor's understandings. Asking for each of us to go deeper within ourselves, to seek out what is true in our values. We call upon you today to seek connection, because we know that together we rise and divided we shall fall. Spirit, we are weary. We are broken. We are striving. We are human. Help us. And let all the joys that continue to happen in this container of pain and strife, shine brightly through so that we know that life is in a continuum and that we understand that justice can also be entwined with joy. Let us embrace our full human experience. Let us be humans being and humans doing. This is my prayer. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be.
Spirit of love.
Each Sunday, we give and receive an offering to sustain the mission and ministry of Cedar Lane Unitarian Universalist congregation and supporting a community organization that is in alignment with our mission. This is an opportunity we bring in our public worship to demonstrate our commitment and our love to our religious community and the work that our religious community does within, among, and beyond. Today we are taking a special offering, a Give the Plate offering, to support the critical work of the United Nations Relief Work Agency, UNRWA, that is working in very dangerous situations in Gaza as we speak. As of today, UNRWA reports that almost 50 of their aid workers have been killed in the airstrikes and the ground invasion that started this weekend. 1.7 million Palestinian refugees are paying the price for the devastating escalation in Gaza. Airstrikes and the ground invasion continues. Fuel and electricity remain shut off for the 2.3 million residents, and now communication and internet services are down for most of Gaza. Over 1 million people have been displaced, and residents remain trapped without any exits. The healthcare system is under a state of almost total collapse. Life-saving supplies are running out, and humanitarian access is still denied. To date, only 80 trucks have been able to enter the Rafah land crossing. Amid these circumstances, hundreds of thousands of displaced people are sheltering inside UNRWA's schools and centers, and thousands of their workers are there to deliver aid, but food, water, and other essential elements and items will soon be completely depleted. So, UNRWA is calling for urgent funding for food and non-food items for refugees in need. Whatever our position or opinion or beliefs, we have a moral obligation to support the people who are suffering in this time. So I invite us to consider giving generously to support this critical need in this critical time. There are many ways you can give. You can give electronically, or share a check, or mail a check, or place your offering in the collection plates. The offering will now be given and gratefully received.
We are one.
for all that we bring and share to do the work of being a beloved community. May we be grateful. Thank you, Libby. Here's part of a conversation that the well-known author and Unitarian Universalist minister Robert Fulghum had many years ago in a bookstore.
Mr. Fulghum, is it true you're a minister?
Yes,
Where's your church?
we're standing in it.
But this is a bookstore, and it's a Friday.
Yes, but you might also choose to see it as a cathedral of the human spirit, a storehouse consecrated to the full spectrum of human experience, a place containing great thinking is a sacred space.
What the fruit? Really? Just what kind of minister are you?
Unitarian Universalist.
And you hold services in a bookstore on Fridays. Come on now. You're putting me on.
No, but I'm giving you an example of how Unitarian Universalists like to think. More than anything else, our religion is defined by an attitude, an open-minded point of view about everything and anything. What we have most in common is an uncommon way of looking at the obvious. So a church is not just a specific building, but also a way of looking at the building you are in at the moment. A minister is not just a person who stands in a pulpit and preaches on Sunday mornings, but also the way some people engage in the world, with the world. A religion is not contained in a single book. There's something religious in almost any book.
Okay. But I've seen a building in my neighborhood with a sign that says Unitarian Universalist Church. It was on it, and there were a lot of cars parked around. It was on a Sunday morning. It looks like a regular church to me.
Of course, you're right. We come together in community and do many things any religious community does. And Sunday mornings are a culturally convenient time to meet.
Okay.
But we also come together during the rest of the week
To do what?
to share ideas, to have committee meetings, discuss political action, work on projects to benefit the larger community in which we live, and hear speakers on a broad range of themes and subjects. We enjoy and need the companionship of like-minded people and also people who think very differently from us.
Well, Mr. Fulghum, I've read all of your books. Is like what you write a sample of what Unitarian Universalists believe?
Yes and no. Oh, come on now. I would expect and hope that most Unitarian Universalists would not agree with everything I think and write.
Okay.
We agree that individuals must work out their own religious conclusions and do that in community together. We agree to learn from one another through dialogue about our beliefs. We agree to work on developing understanding, not agreement.
Oh.
We agree on a process and the tools to be used in the process.
So give me some example of the tools.
The principles of democracy,
Okay.
pluralism, integrity, engaging with diversity, continuing education, individual responsibility, commitment to the common good, to name just a few.
Sounds like NPR or PBS. To me, more than a church.
How did you know that? Actually, the analogy is not far off. Public radio and public television are good examples of things that many Unitarian Universalists support and listen to and watch. We want each individual to have an influence on programming. And we want each individual to take responsibility for keeping the programs on the air.
Oh.
And it's not the easiest way to go about radio or religious community, but it's the way we choose.
So if I'm open-minded and listen to NPR and PBS, I qualify as a Unitarian Universalist.
Well, let's say you have Unitarian Universalist tendencies. You could also, if you wore Birkenstocks, you love tofu, all those things also qualify. There are, however, Unitarian Universalists who listen only to jazz or country western or bluegrass or opera or hip-hop, or those who watch only baseball or football or cricket on TV. I say again, we respect diversity in all things.
I don't know about all things. What about politics?
No exception. Full spectrum here. Democrats, Republicans, libertarians, socialists, and a few who are either anarchists or just confused. It's hard to tell. We share only the conviction that one ought to be active in the affairs of the world. We don't dictate which particular party one ought to join, even though some people carry the misconception that you have to be a card-carrying Democrat in order to be a Unitarian Universalist.
So, are Unitarian Universalists Christians?
Again, yes
I can't.
and no.
Okay.
Some are and some aren't, and some haven't decided. Some are Buddhist, some are Hindu, some are Jewish, some are atheists, some are agnostic, some are a variation of all these themes and other. Some are pagan, earth-centered, and join on days like these to have a Samhain circle. I'm just adding to Fulgjam's script, so just bear with me. In fact, most of the specific questions you might ask have this kind of answer, yes and no. Some are and some aren't. Some do and some don't. We're known for respecting and honoring diversity of opinion and belief, even though we sometimes have a hard time practicing it.
That actually sounds kind of good. I'd like to come and take a look at a church like that, but I don't want to get put on anybody's missionary list.
No problem. We don't evangelize or proselytize. We keep a door open to those who are looking for the company of people like us. When we talk a lot.
I see.
When we ask most Unitarian Universalists how they came to be members, they say it's because they were looking for a community of people who are liberal and progressive in their religious values and active in their commitment to community service and social justice. We believe in the right of the individual to choose religious principles and in our collective responsibility to put those principles into practice in service of life.
Pretty cool. So what you've just heard is a reconstruction of an awkward conversation I've had many times. It's hard to summarize one's beliefs in a few moments. They're products of a lifetime of experiences. Hard also to give a short historical perspective of Unitarian Universalism because it's too long. It's so long and rich and deep. And if you really want to know what it means to be a Unitarian Universalist, come see what we are and what we do, because you may be one of us.
The Reverend Richard Gilbert, many years ago, shared this joke while trying to explain Unitarian Universalist way of religion. It's the story of a small-town farmer who goes to the big city circus for the first time, and upon seeing a giraffe for the very first time in his life, he exclaims, "There ain't no such animal." So Reverend Gilbert says, whenever I attempt to describe Unitarian Universalism as a religion to the outside world, I feel like I'm running into small-town farmers gawking at giraffes and saying, "There ain't no such animal." He is right. We have all struggled through an awkward conversation similar to the one that Reverend Fulgham had, though he was decidedly less awkward and more verbose and more assured than most of the ones I've had. See, people grounded in conventional religion invariably perceive us to be an intellectual, social, and ethical enterprise. Reverend William Sloane Coffin, who served the Riverside Church in New York City, once shared with the Reverend Bill Sinkford that Unitarian Universalists are thick on ethics and thin on theology. Let that sit with you for a moment. Well, because in part people often don't associate how we do religion with their standard understanding of religion. And so, in their eyes, there ain't no such animal as Unitarian Universalist religion. Now, though there are a number of reasons why people have a hard time acknowledging us as a religion, one of them, I believe, is because of the way we go about doing religion. We are an uncommon religion. Uncommon, not in the sense of being better, being exceptional than other religious and faith traditions, or being somehow more evolved for that matter, but uncommon in the sense of how we approach the ultimate and intimate questions of existence. So today, briefly, I want to explore some of the reasons why we are an uncommon religion and hope to give you, in that context, some things to ponder, to wrestle with, and maybe come up with your own uncommon definitions when you try to explain this giraffe to your friends or family, co-workers, and acquaintances. Well, our uncommonness begins with our name, Unitarian Universalist. You know, in the days when we had yellow pages, you had to get to the very end of the yellow pages book to get to Unitarian Universalist. There in itself should give you a clue as to why we don't proselytize. I mean, that's a mouthful. Most definitely a name for a religion formulated by a committee. And folks, it was. The committee could not agree on a new name, and so they decided to tack on Unitarian and Universalist, the two religious groups that were consolidating to form the Unitarian Universalist Association. But seriously, we're probably the only faith that takes its name from its doctrines. Unitarian, which stands for the doctrine of unity of God, and Universalist, which celebrates the doctrine of universal salvation, rather than its form of ecclesiology, like the Episcopalians or Protestants and Presbyterians, its founder, like the Lutherans, or its liturgical practices, like the Baptists. And yet, we claim to have no set doctrines, no creeds, and indeed, many of us are hard-pressed to say clearly what Unitarian Universalism is all about or what Unitarian Universalists believe. Now, our movement began historically as a rejection of creeds and dogmas of the Orthodox Christian Church in both Catholic and Protestant forms. We found that the doctrine of Trinity did not square with our historical perspective, that Jesus was human, not God, that our purpose was to live this life in this world to the full. In fact, Unitarians and Universalists believed in life before death. So to live this full, not to worry about the next one, if there is a next one, that neither church nor state could dictate what we should and must believe. Our forebears believed strongly, as we do now, that humanity is not by nature depraved, but instead good and has the potential to rise above the mundane. Our forebears believed in original blessing, not original sin, and that humans are judged not by creeds, but by their deeds. We are an uncommon religion because of our non-creedal approach to religion, our commitment to freedom of belief and the individual's search for truth and meaning. We do not do so just because we reject the rigidities of orthodoxy. The reason ours is a creedless religion is because our theory about creation is that it is too grand, too vast, too glorious, too complex, and too mysterious to be captured somehow by certitudes, by any narrow creed, or reflected in any single metaphor. Our conviction is that we will come a little closer to the truth about the creation that we are all a part of, and certainly be more receptive to its splendor if we use a variety of vehicles to apprehend it. All the world's great religious and spiritual traditions, for example, but also the sciences, the arts, the disciplines of mysticism, and the electric touch of love. In fact, we resonate with the ancient Rigvedic expression, ekam sat vipra bahuda vadanti. Truth is one, the wise ones call it by many names. And the holy, the divine, for us is relational, not revelational. So God, for those of us who believe in God, is not God's name, as Forest Church once put it, nor is the God that we believe in the Santa Claus in the sky, a celestial peeping Tom, the vengeful, capricious, and demanded bearded being who blazes with human destiny, but a creating, sustaining, and transforming power. A cosmic creativity which is the power behind the natural worlds of planets and flowers, pine cones, and photons. God for us is in the relationships. God is in the struggle, in the call to justice, the call to compassion, the call to peace. And that call seems to come from something greater than ourselves, and it guides us toward what is right, what is just, what is true. It has a claim on those who are believers and also on those who are not. And God is not in the business of intending, causing, or condoning human misery or natural evil or devastation, but struggles alongside human beings in alleviating it. This uncommon belief in our ability to choose what is essential to our very being and in the grandeur of creation calls on us to be heretics. See, for us, the word heretic is a holy word. I am a heretic. You are a heretic. The word heresis in Greek means choice. A heretic is one who is able to choose. Faced with the mystery of life and death, each act of faith is a gamble, a risk. And we all risk choices before the unknown. So in that sense, we are not a chosen people. We are a choosing people. Choosing to be in relationship with one another, with the world around us, with all its beauty and its tragedy, with good or the holy or whatever else we call it, and with all of creation, the cosmos. So this invitation to choose implies a spirituality of risk. Probably many of us do not understand how religiously dangerous it is. We begin the journey not really knowing how it will end. We don't know for a certainty what forks in the road lie ahead or where they will lead us. Only this we know: the journey and the struggle is worth it. We are an uncommon religion because we promise no easy answers, no easy platitudes, no easy prayers for peace. We strive instead to ask the right questions. We believe fervently that the question is an answer. You see, the WAG had it partly right when they said that the Klan, to oppose what Unitarian Universalism stands for, would burn a question mark in front of a UU congregation. We are an uncommon religion because we believe that the future is not set, that history is not determined, that destiny is not fated. But we also know that the tools with which we have to work the measure of our energy, the degree of our intelligence, the allurement of the sun, or outside our control, are gifts of an abundant grace that has many names and yet is indescribable. We believe that will and grace, faith and reason go hand in hand, that justice and compassion are inseparable, and that justice is what love looks like in public, to quote Dr. Cornel West. Our special role today is to remind ourselves in the world that no one is free until everyone is. No one is liberated until all are liberated, where all means the whole of creation, the animals, the rainforests, the tiniest of microbes, Democrats and Republicans, Israelis and Palestinians. Ours is an uncommon religion, as we believe revelation is continuous. It is not sealed, nor is it sealable. By believing this way, we had it almost right. As the Reverend Bill Schultz explains, we had it more right than those who believe that truth is given and fixed, once and for all, world without end, those like the former president of the Southern Baptist Convention, Bailey Smith, who proclaimed, "I believe that Jonah was a literal man who was eaten by a literal fish, vomited out of a literal stomach, and he was a literal mess." This belief in revelation being an ongoing process leads us to affirm that the gracious is available to every one of us, disguised in the simple and the mundane. And if you're all at all like me, staying up late in the night, wondering about the nameless things, about the hurt we have caused others, about the love we have failed to bring or share, about birth and death, meaning and void, patternings and poignancy, the mundaneness and the profundity of life. I know that being is a mystery and creation is all of a piece. I'm committed to a global consciousness and an earthly loyalty. I know that the divine manifests itself masked in the ordinary and the everyday, and yet I wonder at the mystery that somehow holds it all together, or seems to. The best thing I can do is to speculate that even in the face of the most excruciating loss, sorrow, or grief, there is something whole, right, healthy in all of us that calls up a final trust and surrenders to the infinite mystery. At this point, there is one thing that must be said, that we do not become captives of the illusion that the best way to interpret our faith is to talk about it, even though this is important. We interpret our faith more effectively through our lives, by our attitudes, than in any other way. Friends, our Unitarian Universalist faith demands much of us. And it constantly gets in our way. Gets in the way of shallow spirituality, egregious ethics, and self-righteous religiosity. There are no shortcuts in our religion. It takes time and effort to be a Unitarian Universalist. Writer Maya Angelou once heard a born-again religious enthusiast declare quite piously, "I am a Christian," to which she responded incredulously, "Already?" The implication here is that to seriously call oneself a Christian is a presumptuous act, suggesting for more than a religious identification, but rather a certain way of life, a certain way of being in the world. It applies to Unitarian Universalism as well. We are trying to be Unitarian Universalist. It's a work in process, a journey. One last thing to say, so that we do not become convinced that our religion is so risky and dangerous that it is too hard to practice or worth trying. Ours is a risky, uncommon religion, but it also human and humane. It asks of us to bring our whole imperfect selves to what we do and believe, and if we fall short, and we do fall short, to try again and again, and to remind each other gently to be true to what we hold. Our Unitarian Universalist faith is about being born again and again and again to hope, to justice, to peace, and to love. May it be so. Amen. Please rise. Amen. Amen. Please rise in body, and in spirit to sing Love Will Guide Us on screen and in the hymnal. Please be seated. Our benediction is from the Reverend Harry Meserve, a Unitarian Universalist minister who, during the height of the Vietnam War, asked, if you are arrested by the thought police for being a Unitarian Universalist, would they find enough evidence to convict you? I share this benediction from him. From arrogance, pompousness, and thinking ourselves more important than we are, may some saving sense of humor liberate us. For allowing ourselves to ridicule the faith of ours, may we be forgiven. From making war and calling it justice, indifference and calling it tolerance, pollution and calling it progress, may we be cured. For telling ourselves and others that evil is inevitable while good is impossible, may we stand corrected. O God of our mixed up, tragic, aspiring, doubting, and insurgent lives, help us to be as good in our hearts and do as good in our lives as we have always wanted to be and do. May it be so. Amen. And now, we're going to be trying something different starting this Sunday, which is to do announcements after the service, which I think is a good thing. Would you agree? Yes. We'll see. Well, if you would like the announcement ritual to be in the service, we'll put it back in, but you can let us know. Anyway, we're going to go through a few quick ones because we really want to have space and time for something very special that will happen today. And so, this morning, Greg Falsino, our board member and assistant treasurer, is available and will be available in the library. If you have any questions about the work of the board, the congregation, or anything else under the sun, Greg is uniquely equipped to address all of those.
And after service today, around 12 o'clock, give or take, we're going to have Trunk or Treat. It's an exciting event, so go down to the Culver Street parking lot and trunk or treat.
That's right.
Yeah.
And next Sunday, November 5th, we're moving into two-service mode with an early worship experience at 9 a.m. called Quiet Callings, which is a reflective, meditative experience, about 30 to 40 minutes of sitting together, singing together, meditating, praying together, and sharing together. So that'll start right here in the chapel at 9, and then at 10:30, our usual service will happen alongside Sunday school. And following the services next Sunday, in the Chalice house, our generosity team is generously serving lunch to any and everyone who is interested to know more about the work of the generosity team and what the annual fund campaign is about and how it supports our mission and ministries. So if you're interested, please join people in the Chalice House at noon for some lunch and conversation and some games. You can RSVP to the email that's in our e-news.
And now, without further ado, welcome our Haunting House Halloween presentation. Come on, Haunting House.
Okay. Thank you for letting us join you. We are a small but mighty group, and we wanted the children to share their pumpkin homes for light. We've been exploring Nature's Home for Seeds, and we planted, mustard greens in soil, and we took a hike around the church and found more homes for seeds, and we've explored this home for seeds, and next week we'll explore a little red house with no windows and no doors and a star inside. So right now the children are going to tell you why they like their pumpkin.
I like my pumpkin because it's beautiful. I like my pumpkin since it has 2 teeth.
Thank you. That is so wonderful, and thank you so much for sharing all this with us. And Diana, you are
50-some years.
So Diana Thompson is one of our Sunday school teachers who's leading the Haunting House class, and as you heard, she's been doing it for 50-some years. Thank you. All right. Go in peace, friends. Go making peace, living gently, loving fiercely, and bowing to the mystery. And now go to Trunk or Treat.